Hello, and welcome to another lawnfawn video. Today we are so excited to be introducing our foiled sentiments Let It Snow hot foil plate, and also our foiled sentiments Merry Christmas hot foil plate. These are so much fun and a really cool way to add a sentiment onto a card, so let's go ahead and check it out. So first we're going to start by hot foiling these. Our platform is ready, so we're going to put our hot foil plate on and press the timer button. It's going to flash for about a minute. Then once it's solid, we're ready to start hot foiling. So we're going to take our foil and put it face down. Then we're going to add on our cardstock that we want to foil onto. And then we're going to add the two plates that are included with the machine and put them over top. Then we can pop the whole thing off, and off camera we're going to run the whole thing through the die cut machine. Then when we bring it back, you can see the big reveal, which is this gorgeous hot foil. Oh my goodness, I love this so much. Now, one of the coolest things that we've done with these foil sentiments is that we've sized them to perfectly work with any 3-inch circle die or 3-inch circle punch. So here I happen to have this stitched circle die, but you can have a plain circle die. You just need to make sure that it's 3 inches. So here you can see we're measuring just to make sure we have the right size. And you'll see that that's going to line up perfectly with this foiled sentiment. And oh my goodness, when this is die cut, it's absolutely gorgeous. The other cool thing is that it lines up with one of our circle tags too, and we'll show you that towards the end of the video. But look how gorgeous this is, and it's ready to put on a card. So now we're going to hot foil the Let It Snow. We've added it to our platform, we pressed the timer button, waited about a minute for the light to be solid. We'll put our foil face down, our piece of cardstock, the two plates here that the glimmer machine came with, then we'll take the whole thing off, and off camera we'll run it through a die cut machine. We'll bring it back and wait till you see the Let It Snow. Oh my goodness, this is so gorgeous. So of course you could foil it right onto your card, and we're going to be showing you how to do that in just a little bit, but you can also die cut this one as well with the 3-inch circle. And here you can see how you can line that up perfectly, run it through the die cut machine, and isn't that so gorgeous? I mean, this is just the prettiest sentiment with that rainbowy foil. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. And then here you can see the comparison between the Merry Christmas and the Let It Snow. And now it's time to start creating a card with these. So we're going to start off with the Winter Sprigs background stencil. And this is a 3-step stencil. And the stencil actually has a little 1, 2, and 3 etched onto there to help you know exactly how to do them in the perfect order. So we're going to start off here with number 1. And this has all of the leaves and little pine boughs. And we're going to be inking this up with some Noble Fir ink, which is this beautiful dark green that's just going to be gorgeous for the holidays. And so we're just going to ink over the whole thing. You could, of course, bring in other shades of green or even some brown, etc. in there, but we just wanted to keep this simple and just use one color. And by just kind of inking around and not being totally perfect with your inking, you'll have some different shading as you lift up the stencil that's going to give it a really nice dynamic look. And there you can see how beautiful that is. Now we're going to take stencil number 2, which has all of our little berries on there. And so we're going to line those up. And once we have that lined up, we're going to add on some lobster ink, which is this beautiful bright red. And so we're going to make sure to cover all of those little berries, and they're going to line up perfectly with the holly leaves and those little branches. And this is just looking so cute. The last step is stencil number 3, which has all of our cute little pine cones and also little extra elements. And for this one, we are going to be using some dough ink, which is this nice kind of medium brown. And we're going to go over all of the little elements here with this. And you can see that this is just already having, you can see the design. Oh, it's just got such a pop. And you'll see once we lift up the stencil, the most magical, best part, you can see how beautiful this design is. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to be taking out an outside-in stitched rectangle. We're going to be using the largest one, and we're going to line this up with this pretty pattern that we stenciled and run that through the die cut machine. For this card, we're going to be using that Merry Christmas that we foiled and then die cut with the 3-inch circle. And we also have some scallop circles that line up perfectly with those different sizes. And so this scallop here is going to line up perfectly with that 3-inch circle. So we're going to die cut some red textured cardstock, which is just so beautiful. And then we can take out that Merry Christmas that we hot foiled earlier, and we're going to add some tape runner to the back of that and layer that. And I love the little scallop circle around it, and I love that the red of the scallop circle is bringing in the red from the berries in that paper that we stenciled there that we're going to layer behind this. Then to give another little sparkle to this card, we have a 1-inch strip here of this beautiful gold sparkle cardstock. And so we're just going to add some tape runner to that, and we're going to layer that into the center of the card. Then we'll add some foam squares to the back of that scallop circle that has the foiled sentiment on it, just to give it some nice pop. And then we can layer that into the center with that gold sparkle kind of underneath the circle, which is just so pretty and such a cute and quick card design. Then we're going to take that same red cardstock that we used for the scallop circle, and we have that cut to 5.5 by 4.25, and that's going to give us this cute little border here with that nice pop of red that is just so gorgeous. Next, we have a standard size card base at 5.5 by 4.25, and so we're just going to add some tape runner to that, and then we can layer this whole panel on top. This was a super quick and easy card to make, and it is so sparkly and so pretty. It's so much fun to stencil and to hot foil, and I just love how these sentiments look, and I love that they fit a 3-inch circle perfectly. For the next card, we are going to be foiling directly onto the card and incorporating it into a scene instead of die cutting it with a circle. And we're going to be using the Let It Snow foiled sentiment. We've got it on our glimmer machine, we've pressed the timer button, our green light is solid, so we can take our foil and place it face down. And then we're going to take some craft cardstock and place that over top. And then we'll take the 2 plates that come with the glimmer machine. We can pop that whole thing off. Off camera, we're going to run it through the die cut machine and then bring it back, and you'll see this beautiful foiled sentiment. And I'm telling you, this makes me want to foil on craft cardstock all the time because it is absolutely gorgeous. The next thing that we're going to be doing is die cutting this with a stitched rectangle. I always like to foil on a bigger piece of cardstock and then come in with my die or my paper trimmer and trim it out from there. I just find that to be easiest. So we're going to line that up, and we'll hold it in place with some tape and run it through the die cut machine. And now we're going to take out a set that we brought back last year called Frosties. That is one of my favorite because it has the cutest snowflakes in it. And we're going to be using a bunch of snowflakes from this set. So we're going to stamp in some white pigment ink, that's our Yeti ink, and we're going to be stamping and creating a really pretty snowflake pattern all around this foiled sentiment. So we're just going to be stamping all of these different size snowflakes all around, and there's something about white pigment ink on craft that to me is just so gorgeous and classic for the holidays. So here you can see we're bringing in some more of the kind of medium-sized snowflake, and now we're going to bring in the smaller ones and just kind of help fill in the scene. And isn't that looking just so gorgeous? Now, to go along with this whole frosty feeling that we have going on in this card, we're going to take out that Yeti ink again and a brush, and we're just going to ink some of this white ink all around the edges, and it's going to make it feel almost like a frosted window pane. It's so pretty. And right now we are recreating a card by Audrey, so thank you so much, Audrey, because this card is so gorgeous. And the look of the white ink coming onto the cardstock is so pretty, and it makes me want to do this not only on craft cardstock, but on pattern papers and all sorts of other scenes because it just really gives you that wintry look. I can like almost feel chilly, you know? Oh, so pretty and so gorgeous. Next, we're going to take out the 12 by 12 size of the favorite flannel, and there's this gorgeous like reddish maroon color that's just stunning. And so we're going to die cut that with the largest of the stitched rectangles. That'll be 5.5 by 4.25. And this is going to be layering behind. And I love the look of this like pinky red with the craft. I think it's just so beautiful. Now we're going to look for some other elements to add to the card, and we're going to start off with the Winter Wonderland window that has all these extra snowflakes that are included with it. And so we're going to die cut all of these snowflakes. We're not going to end up using them all, but any extra snowflakes could always be saved for another card. We're also going to take out these cute little trees from Ready Set Snow, and we're going to take out our little duo of wolves from Wild Wolves, and that's going to be all of the characters that we're going to be using onto this card. So we're going to add some foam squares behind those cute little wolves and also behind those trees too. And so we're going to layer the wolves at the bottom of the card, and then the trees are kind of going to help function as our ground here. So we've got all the kind of like frosty white ink, and then the little trees are going to kind of help set the scene for them for this beautiful wintry card. And I just love that these wolves can be wintry or they can be for Halloween. I think they'd be really cute for Valentine's too. I just think they're just so sweet. So we're going to add our trees into the scene, and then to kind of fill in some more of this snowflake look, we're going to add those little die cut snowflakes. And we decided to just use the small ones from the Winter Wonderland window instead of using the bigger snowflakes. That way we could really let the stamping and the inking and of course that foiled sentiment shine. And then the last step is to take a standard size card base. It's going to be 5.5 by 4.25. We'll add our tape runner onto that, and then we can layer this whole card design on the front. And I think this is just so pretty and such a fun way to use the foiled sentiment. I love that you can either die cut it and add it on separately or incorporate it into your scenes just like we've done here. The next thing we're going to do is show you how to create a tag with these foiled sentiments and then how to incorporate that tag onto the card. So of course we've got to get our hot foiling done. And we're going to be starting off with this starry sky background that is so gorgeous. I love that it can be either stars or snow, and it's just so pretty. So we're going to add our foil face down. We're going to use this pretty gold, and then we're going to be foiling on to some pattern paper. We're going to be foiling onto the B side of the spiffier speckles. That's the side that doesn't have the foil on it. Then of course we can add the 2 plates that come with the glimmer machine, and then we can pop this whole panel off. Off camera, we're going to run it through the die cut machine. We'll bring it on back, and now you'll see what it looks like to foil this pattern onto pattern paper. I think this is just stunning. So we're going to save this side piece and put it aside, and we're going to be working on creating a tag. And we have our stitch circle tags, and the largest of the stitch circle tags fits the both Merry Christmas and Let It Snow perfectly. So you can actually make your own little foil tags by using the stitched circle tags. And I love that these coordinate with it too. I love that I can use an older die and make it new again with these foiled sentiments. So in this case, we actually foiled right onto that spiffier speckled foiled paper. So we have a foiled sentiment onto foiled paper, and it looks so cool. Here we're going to add some lawn trimmings to it, and you can see that this is just about the cutest tag ever. You could write the person's name on the back and use it just like this. But we wanted to show you how to incorporate it onto the card, which is why we foiled those stars just a little bit ago. So we're going to take those stars that we foiled, and we are going to trim this down to be a standard size at 5.5 by 4.25. And I love how sparkly and beautiful that is. Then we're going to shop our stash for some little elements. So there's these cute little trees in the Build a Snow Globe die set, and we're going to die cut the gold metallic cardstock from that. We're also going to be die cutting a banner die here out of some shimmer cardstock. And right now we are recreating a card by Yanea, and she does an incredible job of creating these like cool collage-like elements. And it was so fun to recreate a card by her because I just think this is so cool and maybe a design that I wouldn't think of myself, why I think it's so fun to recreate it so that I can learn from Yanea's beautiful card design. So here we've created kind of like a little custom banner, and we're going to wrap some twine around that and then just tie a little bow. And once again, we're creating these cool like collage-y style elements. And then we can just take our scissors and just trim off any of the excess. And here you can see all of the little pieces that we have that we're going to be playing with to create this card. But we're going to bring in one more element, and that is washi tape. And I love featuring washi tape on cards, and it's going to be so cute on this card. So here we have a piece of white cardstock, and we are going to be layering that piece of washi tape right onto the cardstock. And so we'll just trim off a little bit of excess there, and then you can just wrap it around for a nice seamless look. And once again, this is going to go along with this kind of collage-y layered style. So we have our little strip of washi tape. And then what we're going to do is add some tape runner behind this white panel, and we're going to layer this onto the card. Then we'll add some foam squares to the back of that little banner that we added the twine to, and I love that the twine is going to coordinate with the twine that we used on the tag. Then we can peel up that liner paper, and we're going to add this to the card, and to help all these collage-y elements work together, I always like to slightly overlap them because it kind of grounds them all to be in the same place. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take that tag, which could have just been a tag, but now we're going to incorporate it into this card design, and it's going to look kind of like an ornament on the design. And so we're going to add a bunch of foam squares to the pack. We're going to peel up the liner paper, and then we're going to use the stickiness of the foam squares to help hold this little twine piece in place. And so you'll see we're kind of sticking it to the back of the foam and giving it kind of like a little bump there at the top. And then the rest of the twine is going to stick out of the bottom. Then we can take the whole thing and place it on the card. And we're going to place it on an angle, and there's something about placing the tag at an angle that really makes it feel like one of those, almost like those vintage ornaments to me. I think this is just so cute and sweet. Then we can take these cute little trees and we'll just add some tape runner to those. And then those are going to layer over top as well. Once again, we're taking all of these collage elements and making sure that they're all kind of like layered on top of each other. And that's what's going to bring everything into the design. And I love the gold trees with the gold foil stars and the gold foiled sentiment. I mean, this is just so pretty and cute. Our last step is to take a standard size card base that's 5.5 by 4.25. We'll add some tape runner to that, and then we can layer our whole card panel on top, and now this card is done. It's so sparkly with all of the different hot foil. I loved bringing washi tape onto the card, and I love the idea of taking a tag design and incorporating it onto the card. You can even die cut another tag and put that on your present, and then this would be the card to go along with it. And look how beautiful and sparkly and shiny that is. Now, next up, Shari is going to wow you with this cute idea. Oh my goodness, I love it so much. So take it away, Shari.
So I'm starting out with my background today using some strawberry frosting spiffy speckles paper. I'm cutting this to 5 inches by 5 inches because I am creating a nice big square card today. I'm going to be doing some stenciling with the snowflake background stencils, and I'm using a grip mat to hold my paper and my stencils in place. So this grip mat is from the inside of the stamp wheel. I'm starting out with some peachy keen ink for my first layer of snowflakes, trying to kind of go in with a lighter hand because I'm looking for that tone on tone look for my background. I am making sure that I focus my inking more on the outside edges because the inside in the center is going to be covered up with a circle where my sentiment is. Once I have all of those snowflakes inked with that peachy keen ink, I'll pull off that stencil. And then I'll grab the other one in this set that fills in the snowflakes in between in those voids. For this one, I'm going to be using some abandoned coral ink, and it is a little bit darker, but I still want to try to have a light hand, so you can see that I'm going to tap it off on a piece of scrap cardstock to the side so that I don't get my snowflakes too terribly dark. Again, I'm going for that tone on tone look, but I did want some variation in the pink. Once I have my background finished, I can just add this to a 5 inch by 5 inch card base. And then I'll move on to my sentiment. So for my sentiment, I'm using the new Foiled Sentiments Let It Snow sentiment, and I'll be foiling this on a piece of mermaid cardstock with some teal foil. I've already put my foiling plate on my glimmer platform. It's nice and hot. It's ready to go. I can lay my foil down with the pretty side facing the die, then my cardstock. Then I like to have a piece of typing paper to catch any overfoiling, and then the 2 plates that come with the glimmer system. I'll just run that through my die cut machine, and then when I pull this off, I get that beautifully foiled sentiment. You can see I have some overfoiling on this piece outside of the edges of the plate, but that's not a problem because I'm going to be using a stitch circle to cut this out. The 3-inch stitch circle fits these sentiments perfectly, so I'll just line this up, add some removable tape, and run that through my die cut machine, and I have this beautifully foiled sentiment for the center of my card. Now what I wanted to do is take the Simply Celebrate Winter critters and make all these critters kind of peek out from behind that circle. So I've stamped and colored 4 of those lines of critters, and I'm just going to cut all of these apart so I have all of these individual critters. And I'll just cut out the line in between them, but this is going to get tucked in behind the circle so that they look like they're all peeking out. So I am going to end up with more critters than I need in the end, but I just wanted to cut all of these apart. So I'll have 20 little critters to choose from, and then I can mix and match them so that I don't have any ones that are the same right next to each other. So I'm just going to skip ahead. I've already cut all these apart. And you can see this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to tuck them behind. So I'm going to take my tape runner and add some adhesive right along the edge of the back of the circle. I'm not doing the whole thing just yet, just part of it. And then I can start to line up my little critters on the back side of this circle. So since I did have a line of all mice, all penguins, and all deer, I wanted to make sure that I kind of put those in the same order every time. So I have a mouse, a penguin, a deer, and then one of the critters that are from that line of winter critters where they're all different. And I love those different ones kind of mixed in with all the penguins and the mice. That narwhal might be my favorite, but I am also a big fan of the moose. So I wanted to be sure to include all of them. So you'll see as I kind of work my way around the circle, I am going to have some extra ones, but I made sure that the extras I had are from the critters that I had lots of multiples of. So the deer, the mice, and the penguins. I did cut a white circle out of that 3-inch stitch circle die to kind of layer on the back to kind of hold these in place because they're just barely held on the edge, and I wanted to make sure that they stayed there. This kind of cleaned things up a little bit too. So you'll never see this circle. It doesn't matter what color cardstock it's cut from. Just line it up with the circle on the front and it sandwiches those little critters in between. Now I did make sure that I put a little foam square on the back of every critter around the circle so that none of them got bent or smushed or moved. So everybody has a foam square, and then I have some foam squares in the center where that sentiment is. And I'll just line this up in the middle of this square card. And I just think this is a really fun look. It's almost like the critters around the world. They're going around the sentiment, and I just think it is so much fun. I love how it turned out. Now, of course, I want to add some sparkle around to kind of go with that foiled sentiment. What I did was I added some dots of glitter to some of those dots that I stenciled with the snowflake stencil. And then I'll go through and add some glitter to my critters as well. So I just added it to like their hats or their scarves, the narwhal's horn, the antlers of the deer and the moose, just so everybody has a little extra sparkle. And then here is my finished card. I really love those little critters and that foiled sentiment. It's just so beautiful.
I can't tell you how much I love this idea, Shari. The idea of layering all of the little critters from Simply Celebrate Winter Critters behind the foiled sentiment. So cool. And next up, we have some incredible cards by the design team. And this one by Elise is just stunning. I love how she used that awesome snowflake backdrop all around the Let It Snow. It's just beautiful. This card by Mindy is so pretty. I love her stenciled background and then that foiled sentiment over top. I love that it fits the 3-inch circle. Here is this gorgeous card by Yanea that inspired us to make ours. I love that she incorporated the tag onto the card and her fun collagey and sparkly elements. This card by Letitia is so fun, and I love that bright gold with the foil on top. Oh my goodness, isn't that so shiny and sparkly and beautiful? I just love it. This card here by Callie is just stunning. I love how she layered the die-cut snowflakes behind the Let It Snow sentiment. And then this one by Audrey is the one that inspired us to make ours today. I love how she layered little snowmen at the bottom. And then this card by Grace is just stunning. I love how she made it look like the Let It Snow with the smoke coming out of the chimney of the cabin. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. And then here, our Winter Wonderland window is a perfect frame for the Let It Snow foiled sentiment. So we cannot wait to see all of your foiled cards, so make sure to share them with us. Thank you so much for watching today, and I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. Bye!